now. You know, we had a quick moment of silence for the victims of the Buffalo shooting. Now, it's time to have another quick moment of silence before we go over the Texas shooting. So, real quickly. All right. Now, I have a lot of thoughts on this. This is a very complicated issue to go over, and there's a lot of nuances, and there's a lot of directions, and there's a lot of politicizing of what's going on. But ultimately, politicizing is necessary because politics are what controls and runs how we operate things. Now, I want to start here. So, this is the dangers of short-sighted thinking. Now, one of my favorite authors is Nassim Taleb, author of the famous Black Swan book. And he has, for, last 10 years, been really agitated by this following pseudo-intellectual, Steven Pinker. Now, Steven Pinker released a book called The Better Angels of Our Nature, or some shit like that, where he is saying that crime is dropping. The crime rates are dropping since the 90s, and that this is because society is getting less violent. Now, if you would look around and say, you'd probably, if you would kind of put your finger in the air and kind of get a whiff of what's happening, I don't think you would say that. But, I mean, the stats do kind of bear that out. But what's happening is that it's a very short sample size. And Taleb talks about this in Fooled by Randomness. His book, Fooled by Randomness, is that you are taking the movement in any direction and you are analyzing it as either regression or progression towards something, when realistically it's just a short sample size, and you can't really garner anything off of that. You can't really objectively assess this as going up or going down. It is just a plot on the graph, and there are different circumstances, economically, circumstantially, that kind of play into what's happening. So you are taking something that is completely random, and you're trying to project your worldview onto this. And if you take the data back 25, you can basically create whichever trend line you want based on how far you're pulling back the data and what narrative that you're trying to push. Now, that's the thing with me, is that I don't like books that I like books that make me feel stupid, and I think most people kind of do the reverse. They find these kind of pseudo intellectuals like Jordan Peterson and Steven Pinker, who just you got these rules and you can operate within these rules, and that's life, and if you follow them, then you'll be good. But if you actually understand reality for how it is, and that there are no complete sets of rules in how to operate things, that's the scary truth. And that's a truth that most people are uncomfortable with, so they like these sets of rules. I don't. I like books that make me feel like an idiot after reading them. And And I think, we're at a, if we just sit and like, look at the 90s and say, oh, hey, violence is down a little bit, that we can really get flanked by, these horrific mass shootings. And I have a theory, actually, that what precipitated the drop in crime from the 90s to like the aughts and the time frame that we're in now. And I don't know, maybe this is something for the Freakonomics guys to mull over the data on. Just a working theory from a working class asshole such as myself, is that I feel that maybe instead of, where society's getting less violent, what I think that was a reason for the, notable or noteworthy drop in crime between the 90s and now? Video cameras. And the fact that everything is video recorded. So, a person who wanted to commit a violent act, before, they knew that, if, even if it got caught on camera, the footage would be choppy. Maybe they wouldn't be exactly able to be identified. Now you got fucking door cameras on every single door, every other door in residential neighborhoods, protecting their packages. And like literally, it's kind of rare for you to be able to get away with a crime without anybody, without any kind of video footage or video camera seeing this. Now, I don't like using that as kind of a preface to jump into this horrific tragedy that happened in Uvalde, Texas. Now, I don't know how Americans can just constantly watch this happening. This is absolutely spiritually draining for me to watch, and I don't even fucking live in America. It's like, it's really hit me hard to just think about what's happened and hearing some of the fucking some of the stories, how they're and hearing the timeline, and like I do not know how Americans can just watch this and not do anything. It's insane. It's and it's like thinking about those poor kids and what they fucking went through, and the fucking horror, that's just, they wouldn't even put that in movies. It's so fucking, it's so disturbing. And, guns are to blame, but they aren't only to blame. Everyone likes to cite the fact that the mass shootings in the United States has a shit ton of mass shootings. It is that. It is that you can easily access assault rifles. But unless the data has changed, I know that Switzerland actually has the most more assault rifles per capita than the United States, and they're never on the list. So I think it's a combination of three different things. I think it's number one, guns. Number two, culture. And number three, poverty. And I think this kind of conglomeration of things is the deadly thing. Is the thing that is creating this environment in which serial killers and mass shootings and shit like this it is so prominent. And it was, it was really heartening, and maybe foolishly heartening, that the outpouring of support towards Texas, despite the fact that they have had a negative or backwards impact on gun culture, and that they have been unwilling to compromise and unwilling to sacrifice anything at all. How they have been promoting gun use from an early age, and so it's, you know, the outpouring of support towards Texas in this massacre that tells you all you need to know. That tells you that this is not about taking away your freedom, okay? You know, we do not want to take away your freedom. It's not about that. It's about not wanting to see mass murders and what's responsible and what isn't reasonable for protection, okay? Like, you know, this isn't about wanting to take shit away from you or to reduce your freedoms or your liberty. It just is about not wanting to see fucking kids get killed and your own citizens get fucking murdered, okay? You know, that shows you all it needs to be. That shows you all you need to know. And that is why and you know, they could have said, hey, you know, this is Texas, this is what they do, this is what they signed up for, but they didn't do that because they fucking care about you. They don't want to kill your freedoms, okay? They want your kids to fucking grow up to see adulthood, okay? Like every kid should have the fucking right to. Fucking disgusting. And but here's the cold truth that the left is not willing to realize, is that they will literally, the right will literally start a civil war if you try to change the Second Amendment and you try to take the guns away. Because they are more worried about fake government conspiracies than real life kids dying. And that's the fucking truth of the matter. Is that your kids dying, if you live in a red state, is a willing sacrifice for them. They are willing to make that sacrifice. Kids dying and children dying in mass shootings is something they are comfortable with. And they have known this. They have known that this was going to happen from the get-go. And they didn't care. And they did nothing. And they were a negative factor in preventing this. So they don't give a fuck, okay? My only advice to you is that if you do not agree with this amosexual, this you know, hyper gun culture worldview, you need to get the fuck out, okay? You need to view yourself the same as Ukrainians right now, except you are a domestic refugee. It's like they have already laid all their cards on the table. They already have all their cards laid on the table. And you keep thinking they're going to play nice or that they're going to change. They're not. It's like, you know, they have their cards on the table and you're still going to call and you're just going to like, well, they have me beat. Maybe they'll split the pot with me. They're not going to fucking split the pot with you. This is who they are. They've showed you who they are. The rest is up to you. If you want to fucking deal with this, if you want this to be on you, if you want to be a part of this, or if you want to raise your kids in an environment where they are likely to fucking get mowed down by the next fucking incel fucking worm who fucking can't handle the bullying that literally every child goes through in life, then that's on you. That's on you. You need to fucking, I've said this before in prior podcasts, you need to love the environment you are living in. You need to agree fundamentally with the principles of the environment that you are living in. This is like you're in a fucking bad relationship and you keep thinking that the other person is going to change. They're not. They are who they are. They've showed themselves to you, and now it's on you. Now it's on you to fucking do what you need to do to keep your children safe, to keep your family safe. Because the Second Amendment eventually is just going to be subject to interpretation, and if there's never going to be a universal background check or a federal amendment to alter it or anything. It's going to be fucking they're going to deal with all these shootings, and they're comfortable with that because, quite frankly, they're more worried about fake Illuminati conspiracies that the government is gonna, despite the government not doing shit, are gonna somehow try and take their guns away. So that's what you're up against, and I just view it as a fact of putting myself in the shoes of someone that is living in there. This is do or die. This is you are in a crisis. You must view yourself as a domestic refugee and get yourself the fuck out of there. Get out. I mean, there's no two ways about it. If you don't want to see your kids dying in one of these mass tragedies, go to a place where it is not easy for an 18-year-old incel to get his hands on a high-powered assault rifle and mow down a bunch of people. And people keep pointing out inconsistencies in these gun nuts arguments. Like, they say this, but not this, and they want, they don't want you, to get an abortion, but they're also angry that fathers don't exist. What they're doing is that they're treeing around the issue, and that they're thinking of anything they can possibly think of to not address the core of the issue. It's like you're expecting logical coherence from these fucking morons, and I don't think logical coherence is what they're going for. It's all about them using it as a rhetorical tool in order to justify keeping their pockets fat with NRA money at the expense of your kids' lives. And logical coherence versus rhetoric, it's similar to like kind of like a Freudian slip. Like a Freudian slip is something where somebody reveals the true nature of their character accidentally, where they're putting up they have a mask that they're using and they accidentally tell the truth. That is what a Freudian slip is. And probably the most great example of what a Freudian slip is was done very recently by former President George W. Bush. Now, let me play it for a second in case you guys haven't heard it. So here it is.
Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Ukraine.
So that was a textbook example of a Freudian slip right there. And that was somebody who accidentally told the truth. That is somebody who accidentally revealed the true nature of their character. And so that is similar to people who are using rhetoric versus logical coherence. They don't care about They don't care about being consistent. They don't care about what's right. They all they care about is whoever's lining their pockets or whatever political narrative they're trying to push. Okay, these are two of the most Rhetoric and Freudian slips are two of the most powerful and revealing aspects of psychology that you can use to detect when somebody is a person. Well, a person that you should not want to be around. That is, unless you are a complete fucking piece of shit. Also, now, I know people keep saying, "No, voting to change this," or vote to change this. How is voting going to change this? Democrats have been in power for the majority of the last 20 to 30 years, and there's still no change, and there's still not going to be change. You know why? Because the Democrats know that the Republicans will literally cause a civil war if you try to change it, if you try to change the Second Amendment. So the best you can do is a state-by-state thing. The best you can do is by having mental health checks and having background checks in your state so that psychopaths like this cannot get access to this high-powered weaponry, right? And you're going to see less mass shootings in areas where there are, and more mass shootings in areas where there aren't. And like I said, ultimately, it is on you. If you do not ideologically agree with the place that you are living in, then stop fucking trying to fight it. Stop trying to fight it and go somewhere. Love where you live. A couple other things on this issue is that there needs to be responsibility on the gun stores that sell this. Now, I know it's not legally possible in Texas because the NRA has made it so that the gun store that sells the rifle to the person who kills a bunch of children is not held legally responsible, but they need to be, and that will help create the background checks. That will help create the red flags on people. That will help, or having some sort of system where you take training and have psychological assessments before you are able to whatever. It would help create the necessary red tape so that this doesn't happen. And even the gun store owner says he felt felt bad about selling the kid the gun. It's like, well, you didn't fucking feel bad to not sell it to him or to vet him properly. It's like a relationship. You need to vet people properly before you just invite them to live with you or something. You need to you need to do personality assessments and make sure they don't have Freudian slips or coherence versus rhetoric slips or something like that. And now, real quickly, I just want to touch on the deeper issue, and the deeper issue is how we treat each other, and the fact that there is such a toxic, bullying, fucking shitty behavior culture that I think that is the reason why, despite the fact that Switzerland has more ARs per capita than the United States, that you're not seeing these things there. Is that there's just such a fucking toxic culture and such a bullying culture. And the one thing I will say is just treat each other good. Stop fucking teasing, stop bullying, be tolerant, fucking treat each other better, right? And stop giving kids hopelessness. Stop making kids feel like they're unwelcome, or stop pointing people out and saying that, they're whatever, they're, they don't dress a certain way, they don't do this, they don't do that, and picking on them. Just be tolerant of people, be good to people, be kind to people, because you never know what sort of reaction somebody will have, and you never just like, you never know what an act of negativity can achieve, and you never know what depth be positive and be nice to people, even if they aren't nice to you. You don't want to give somebody an excuse or the reason to do this, and just be better to each other. Stop trying to fucking tease and pick and fucking bully on people, because that, I think, is the shit that sets people off, and that is the shit where they feel completely hopeless. You think that your teenage years or your kid growing up, that this shit is so important. The people who, I thought were cool back in fucking grade school, I don't think are cool anymore. They're fucking losers now. And some of the people who were losers or people who got picked on in grade school and high school are cool now. Everything can change, and it's all about working on yourself and self-improvement. And you don't know what somebody is capable of or what they will achieve, but just, don't go over the top, and don't fucking just ruthlessly pick on people and give people the hopelessness that they want to be able to justify doing this insane fucking shit. It's like I said, it's a fucking draining for me to even fucking try and fathom. And I don't even fucking live in the United States, and Canada doesn't even have this shit here. But one thing I will say about Canadian culture right now is that so one of the people who is vying for premiership in the Liberal Party, Stephen Del Duca, he is taking this headline of this mass shooting as an opportunity to push his agenda for a handgun ban. Now, that is what I call going over the top. That is what is like, he's taking something that is super popular or not popular, but he's taking a hot button issue and trying to overcorrect on it. And see, this is where I respect Americans, is that Americans would not put up with this. This is, acceptable in Canada, whereas like a handgun ban is like, okay, but how do you fucking protect yourself? Nobody needs a goddamn AR, but you should be able to have the fucking right to protect yourself. What am I gonna do if there's some fucking, 6'4" fucking 260-pound fucking behemoth with a fucking with a machete, coming for me? I mean, so Canada does this too much, to a detriment, where we look at what's going on in the United States and, oh, hey, we have to fucking go so hard in the other direction, because this is, the United States does stick up for freedom, and they do, but I mean, at a point where your children are getting murdered, or like in their fucking chickens, getting slaughtered to fucking sent to the butcher, that's a fucking other thing completely, and needs to be reassessed. But to the level of Canada, where we're being too restrictive and having too much red tape, is a detriment to us, because there's nothing wrong with what Canada has right now. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't need to be changed. The only reason that a politician is pushing it is because, hey, People are talking about it. It's a hot button issue in the United States. So hey, let's suffocate Canada in more red tape, which is a reason why we're not able to compete with America as well as maybe we could. So any excuse to fucking latch onto a hot topic, a hot button issue in the United States at the expense of your average everyday Canadian citizens. And the liberals are willing to do that. The conservatives are, and the NDP, just who the fuck knows what they're doing. They promise fucking so much. Oh yeah, fucking this, that, we're gonna reduce climate change, we're gonna give everybody money, we'll suck your dick every other weekend. Oh yeah, where's that money gonna come from? Where are you gonna get that? Oh yeah, we'll be paying like 80% in taxes in order to fucking get this to happen. So Canada needs to fucking realize what America does well and kind of just fucking tone it down a little. America going a little too ham, if you will.